Okay, Guitar Mystery School, episode 7. Alternate tunings and different guitar tunings. Some of you may know I've had 7 surgeries from the elbows down from practicing guitar. I've had 2 carpal tunnel releases, on each hand, and both elbows done, and then a nodule removed and a trigger finger surgery. My main message is don't practice for 16 hours a day, you know, but you got to practice to get better. So do practice. Segovia scales a couple hours a day. That will be ideal for anybody wanting to just get their dexterity worked up. I'm all about open tunings now, and I'm going to go through some different ones that I use. This is a Soundgarden tuning. It's C, A, C, G, C, E. They use it in a couple songs. And then this one that's like you know, they use it on some of those songs, and it's a great open tuning thing. What I recommend is for practicing modes and ragas to go online and find a tambura that's in C or whatever. Get you a C tambura, and sometimes you could even have one with a beat on it, and have the tablas on it, like the electronic ones and stuff. And they even make little Struda boxes and stuff that are good for that. But with the internet, you just go online and find that note droning in the background, and you have that note droning in the background, and then you know, whatever mode you happen to be in that day. You know, say you're studying Lydian that day, and you know you're playing in Lydian or whatever, and the open tunings are great for that. I mean, the open tunings are great for all of that, because I mean, you're not going to learn all your chord formulas on all these open tunings, but you can hear the modes and you can go through the modes and all that within it, and it adds a whole different experience to music. You know, you don't have to think in terms of like major 7 and you know that's the 3rd, and you know you don't even think about that stuff anymore, which is a good way to play too when you're practicing improvising on the modes. You know. Let's see. The tuning that Led Zeppelin uses is a little bit different than that. It's one note different. They use it on Friends and some of those instrumentals that Jimmy Page did. It's C, G, C, G, C, E. And the only string that's different than the Soundgarden tuning is the A string's tuned to G instead of A. And those 2 tunings I like quite a bit. Okay. One of the most popular tunings is E flat, and E flat is a good key for to play along with the piano and with the orchestra. And if you notice a lot of old orchestra music and people that wrote for orchestras and piano wrote in flats a lot, and even Freddie Mercury, you know, was up in the flats. A flat, E flat. And Jimi Hendrix tuned down a half step. Stevie Ray tuned down a half step and used 11s. But yeah, a half step down is a great tuning. Also, let me see, next one here. This is the Keith Richards guitar, I call it. It's like, let me see, G, D, G, B, D. And it's just a nice little open tuning guitar. Sit around the house, the kids could play on it. You know, this is the beat up guitar. Sit around the campfire, the kids could beat on it, and the kids could actually play a song. It's easy to play blues, you know, on. And it's great for that, man. Like I said, it's easy on the hands. That's one reason I've been all about these open tunings and stuff, and then stuff lately. The Keith Richards tuning, you know. You know all those songs. And you just play good old rock and roll with that tuning. Okay, Dadgad, D-A-D-G-A-D. It's a very popular tuning for folk music, and the most popular song in Dadgad is... You know, it's great for that. It's good for finger picking if you're like... And that would be like an open major chord, just like one note there, so you can bar. It's good for heavy music, you know. You could like... You know, you can thrash out some chords on it, man, you know, and stuff. It's great for all that, you know. Dadgad. Okay, yeah, this one is like Dadgad, except it's C, G, C, A, G, C. It's like Dadgad, except a whole step down from Dadgad. And also, on this particular guitar, since it's C, I tune it to 528 kilohertz, which is a little bit different than 440. You can look up 528 and find some stuff on it. It's got a nice level tone. Good for psychedelic metal and stuff, and it's, you know, a lot of open strings. It's really easy to play too. Like I said, let the kids hop right on it. Now this is what they call a C standard. It's just like 440 standard, except everything's down 2 steps. So you still have your theory and you still have your scales, and I mean, you're not necessarily scales. You can do your scales on one string with the open tunings, but you still have your theory and you know where all your intervals are. Like you can play 7. And all that stuff, and you know where everything's at, as opposed to like some open tunings you don't know where everything is at. Which one reason I like this low C tuning, because you know you can play. You can play the heavier stuff and the bar chords and all that too, and then you can hit a jazz chord or something if you want to play, like, you know, whatever, you know, because you still have the theory, because you're tuned standard, so but you're just dropped, screwed down. There's another tuning called the Nashville Tuning, where the high or the low 3 strings on the guitar, the E, the A, and the D, are actually tuned an octave higher, but they're higher strings. Like you would be using an octave higher of strings, and it would be like all zing, you know. People use it, they call it the Nashville Tuning. Chet Atkins, Joe Satriani, a lot of those guys use it as a backing track. Whenever they have a few guitars on it, they'll add that guitar, and it'll add some brightness. It's actually kind of cool. I've used it before. Let me see. Yeah, just the main thing is to be experimental, you know. These are something to get you started, but you'll find your own tunings and stuff, you know, like me and the one, you know what I mean? You'll find your own tunings that you like. Some of the open ones are great with a slide, man. Get the slide guitar in there, man, you know. And there's a lot of tunings for the slide guitar where you actually tune some strings higher than normal, like an E and G. There's some tunings like that where you tune strings higher. I don't usually tune higher, man. I screw down, man. You know, I hardly ever tune higher. You know, but there are some cool ones. You know, there's some cool ones out there. Open E. There's an open E one. There's one where you can tune the E to the major instead of the minor and stuff. And it's good with the slide. It's good for country music and stuff with the slide. And those open tunings, like I said, are great for the kids. The open tunings are great for modal stuff. Like I said, crank that. Find whatever key you're in, whatever you're droning over, and that's your drone note. Find you a tambura or tampura in southern India, online, and you can find it and play along with it, and that's a great way to learn modes too. You know, modes. You can use these open tunings all day long over your modes, and I get lost when it comes to like 13s and all these chords with open tuning. You know, anybody would, but the open tuning's for a whole different thing. That's just, you know, it's all different shit. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on tunings, and I think they're important. It's easier on your hands, man. Don't overdo it.